All right, friends, family, fans, welcome back to another episode of Back Nine Bits. Episode 89. Episode 99, actually. A penny for your Fort Worths. A penny for your Fort Worths. Don't ask me who puts these titles together, but that's what they are. It's episode 99. We are one shy. The RBC Canadian will be number 100, folks. Number 100. Our century mark for Back Nine Bets will be at the RBC Canadian. So thank you all for your support. Thank you all for your love. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button. Thank you for hitting the like buttons. We're here. We are in. Class is in session. What is up, Mike? What is up, Chris? We are cooking with gas. I have a story for you guys before we really get into the golf. No research stream for me on Sunday because on Friday night, I'm getting ready to go on a bike ride with my father-in-law. We're going to the Iowa game at the iCub Stadium. So we bike 25 miles there, 25 miles back. All good. I leave the garage. There's 4 little concrete blocks that are right outside the step there that I now realize one of them split. And there was about half a foot worth of gap in the middle there. And as I'm leaving the garage at 12:30 in the morning, like at midnight, basically, I put my foot in here and I eat it. And I go life alert down. Like I've fallen down many times in my life, usually get right back up. I went life alert down. Like I was in so much pain that I didn't know where the pain was. I was also in so much pain that I didn't have any pain. So I completely just ripped my ankle to shreds. I go to bed. I like hobble back to bed that night, fall asleep. We're leaving on a bike ride at 9 o'clock in the morning. I wake up in the morning. I can hobble around. All good. Make it to the game. Awesome stuff. On the way back, crash my bicycle. So now, this is going to be just a quick little show and tell. Do not, and I repeat, do not. You do not want to. I'm doing a. Let me remove this. I'm going to show you what my freaking leg looks like. It's not good, but it's also okay. So when I get my screen shared over here, maybe that'll help out. There we go. Okay. Boom. All right. So as you can see, here's the key stats for. So now, if you got some blood stuff, be careful. But this is how I was watching the freaking PGA all of the weekend. So this is my leg, my current situation. So I eat it on the way back. So I've got my ankle that's like sprained to shits full. Then I go and do this on Saturday afternoon. My bike broke, so I had to walk and limp my bike back all the way to the freaking bike store that was just across the highway, and I went and picked up my bike today. So I finally got my bike back. She broke. Sexy Rexy's fixed. My leg is getting better. It's been very, very hard to walk the last little while. I've been in lots of pain. It hasn't been a fun, wow. So just putting that out there. Your boy was life alert down, gutted it out, decided to go and make his father-in-law proud, come back, crash my bike. It's the first time I've ever crashed my bike since getting it in 2020. And I've done probably 1,000+ miles a year on it. I've done multiple rag bries, done all of that stuff. I don't know what happened, but it is what it is. So we'll get this out of our life. No longer a problem, but we're all good. At the end of the day, life throws you lemons. It's how you deal with them. It's how you move on. We'll see what happens. I'm doing okay. My spirits are always going to be good. And the funniest thing is I didn't even have my clip-ins because we went to the ball game. I just went in my sneakers and I ate it, man. I don't know if it would have been better or worse. I think the top of my body would have got the majority of the brunt if I had my clip-ins on, but maybe it was lucky that I had my sneakers on because I could, let my leg just chow all the energy and all the pain. So yeah, some nasty road rash. I know, dude. I've got so much dog hair in my scab. It's not even funny, man. Shark bite, road rage, all the stuff, life alert down. Dude, Chris, you have no idea. I was life alert down, folks. So tough scenes for your boy. But as always, Code Maniac will get you 10% off, just like my skin's missing 10% of its leg. We're okay. We're okay over here. So go use code Maniac. I'm a maniac. My leg's missing 10%. So can your check when you sign out for Roto Baller. Go ahead and use code Maniac for that. We had the PGA promo running. It is no longer, but you're still going to get yourself 10% off over there. Using code Maniac, you can get everything. And I'm going to chat to the people. If we can get some subscribers, if we can get this channel humming towards 500 subs, I'm trying to give away $100 next week. Okay. Trying to get $100 given away. I'm not going to give $100 away. I'm going to maybe make it a bet. So if I win money, you win money kind of thing. We'll figure it out. Maybe we can come up with a solid bet on Twitter or something. On X, I'll do a poll, but that'll be the bet. Then we're going to do that. We're close to 500. We're close to 100 episodes, 500 subs. So we're getting there. We are getting there. But let's get into the show. It's going to be a little longer. I was also in the freaking basement a little bit ago with Ernie, with the thunderstorms. I have hardly slept today. It's been a nightmare. It's been a freaking nightmare. I'm just putting it out there. We're doing this thing. I'm here for you guys. So hit the like, hit the sub. Your boys had a hard week, but we're always going to show up with a little bit of enthusiasm and energy, regardless of how fake or sincere it may be. All right. Now, for those of you that are actually here for some golf stuff, let's take a look at some key stats, because we missed the key stats, obviously. At this venue, I've never seen, you're not going to see many golf courses that punish or don't punish, that don't reward distance nearly as much as you could wish for at this venue. So distance off the tee, not very important. Neither is accuracy, really. It's important, but it's not like going to change your world. It's way more important than distance, that's for sure. So we're not really even using accuracy. We're using strokes gained off the tee on shorter courses than 7,200 yards. Then approach play, going to be very important this week as always, and particularly from 125 to 200. There's about 40% of shots, 57% of shots from 125 to 200. If you're doing from 100 to 200, that's 7 of every 10 shots coming from that proximity bucket. So basically 100 to 200 is where you want to find yourself looking at guys that can hit their irons, and you'll understand why we went with a specific outright because of that. Around the green, I think will be a little bit more important this week. The greens are very firm. They're brand new. So the new grass on that's going to make them bounce like quail. Word on the street is from boots on the ground. Greens are bouncing. They are bouncing. So we can confirm it's going to be a difficult conditions to hit the greens. We'll see how it unfolds over the years to come. But according to Michael Kim on X, the greens are firm, but over time, the course should play slightly easier after the redesign. Putting wise, you're not really going to be seeing too much difference. It's been very difficult to hole putts at this golf course, especially with guys hitting to 5 to 15 feet. You got to really make sure these greens, and from that range in, it's been pretty tricky for these folks. So that's kind of basically the situation here. For the most part, the average scoring conditions have been over par. The course has been roughly around 7,000 yards. Now 7,250, 7,280, somewhere in that range. Driving distance average has hardly ever been above 285 yards. So that's going to be a little interesting to see how that changes, but I would not imagine very much going forward. The driving accuracy is also below average, despite it being so drastically. Fairways to hit you are very difficult. Fairway width, also, why is it difficult to hit fairways? Because they're 10 yards shorter or narrower than tour average. So you're going to get that. And then the missed fairway penalty, not nearly as severe, I would say, this week as you would find on normal tour stops. And as a result, because the fairways are so hard to hit and the greens are so small, it's going to see a green regulation rate that's roughly around 60%, which is about 6% less than tour average. So that's your little course preview. That's what we're going to be looking at this week. If we go into the model, let's take a quick peek at our settings for the model. We've gone a lot of approach play, 45% there. We've done 10% on strokes gained off the tee for 7,200 yards or less. And then a little bit of recent off the tee stuff. The wind is just blowing again, man. I hate Iowa weather. I hate Iowa Springs. They are the worst. The absolute worst. Anyway, so based off of our approach numbers, we're going to do 60% strokes gained off the different proximity buckets. We're going to do 40% good shots. Because if you can hit your ball stiff at this golf course, it likely means you're going to be having a few kick-in birdies, which is hard to come by. Only a golf course with only 2 par 5s, par 70, right? So you got to bear that in mind. We've got some around the green, some recent around the green, which is the last 24 is technically 2024, really. At the end of the day, I've kind of morphed that into 2024 stuff. So we're going to be using that, and then bent grass greens. We got all the different bent grass stats over there for putting. So that's basically the situation. Nothing too crazy. Making sure we got guys that can drive it on these shorter courses, guys who can putt on bent grass greens, guys who can get up and down around them, and then very good approach players from that 100 to 200 yard bucket. So we're going to see a lot of shots coming from there. Let's do this thing, baby. Let's do this. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you over here at Back Nine Bets. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. We are feeling sexy. We are doing good things. We sleep at night, Mike. You are so right. Granted, I slept this morning a little bit. The joys of working from home. Any hoozles? Let's get back into the show. Let's get back into the model. I'm going to pull up my upside down birthday cake and show you guys who we're going after this week. So number 1 in the model, shocker, an absolute shocker to you guys, I know, Scotty Scheffler in number 1 spot for DFS, for safety, for upside. Let me zoom in a touch more here so we can all see. There we go. I feel like that is the optimal zoomage. So we're going to go right off the bat, folks. Let's chat about Scotty Scheffler. Let's chat about the world number 1. Let's chat about the most recent PGA golfer to find himself behind bars. Let's chat about all of this. Scotty Scheffler is minus 280 for a top 10, and we are eating it. Minus 250 at DraftKings, ties not paid in full. Minus 350 at DraftKings, ties paid in full. Their ties paid in full are pulling the wool over our eyes for the safety we're looking for. So be aware of that. So Scotty Scheffler at minus 280. It's a 74% implied probability. If we take a look at Scotty Scheffler's top 10 rate on the PGA Tour in his last, 19 events, we are finishing inside the top 10 84% of the time. 84% of the time. That's, by my simple mathematics, a 10 to 11% edge, depending on fractions and decimals. So we're going back to the well. It's minus 140 or minus 170 for a top 5. I don't remember. Let me actually double check that because it's an interesting concept to think about. We want to, if we're going to be laying this much juice on Scotty, I want to rather give myself an extra few spots, an extra few places, especially when we're getting the edge there still. So we don't mind it at all. I'm going to quickly pick up Scotty Scheffler's top 5 market, minus 150. Let's fiddle with this and see what the odds look like if we change it. So we're going to go to this for a top 5 and change that to minus 150. The edge is only 8%. So, you know, it's a smaller edge. And you won't have to lay as much juice, but you have to get the top 5 right. Whereas Scotty Scheffler, in a small field of 130 people, I like him to finish inside the top 10. And we also remember this venue is going to be playing difficult. The more difficult this golf course plays, the better Scotty Scheffler separates himself from the field. That's just a simplicity, and that's just how the world works. So the harder it is to win because Scotty Scheffler is going to be just that good. So we love what Scotty's been up to. Give us another top 10. We're laying a ton of juice. The $100 we're betting in breaking 100, 28 of them are going to Scotty Scheffler. You know what? According to our last track record, 84% of the time, we're getting our $10 back, which is a fair bet to me. So we're going to take a quarter of our bet, pretty much Scotty Scheffler top 10. I was chatting to this. Who was I even chatting to about this? Oh, it was Steve, Twitterless Steve, when I was on the Sports Gambling podcast. We were chatting about why not just bet Scotty Scheffler? Just your betting card, just be Scotty Scheffler to win, which is not ideally the best situation because he really hasn't since the last little while. He's starting to prove that he's a winning entity to bet. But prior to that, you were losing your money. However, over the last 19 starts, you're winning $1,000 in the top 5 market. You're winning another $1,000 in the top 10 market, and you're winning another 1,000 in the top 20 market. And when I'm saying 1,000, I'm saying 1,127, 1,229, and 1,150. Like, you are making some bougie bucks. What is even more crazy about this situation is that Scotty Scheffler is winning $1,000 back in every single one of those markets over the last 12 months. Xander Schauffele has just eclipsed $1,000 return total across every single market after the PGA Championships since 2023. So in the last year and 5 months, Xander now has just returned $1,000 total. Scotty Scheffler's doing it in the top 5 market, in the top 10 market, and the top 20 market to return you a total of $3,607 in the last 12 months. This is ludicrous, folks. So we're going to join in on the Scotty Scheffler love. Get that top 10 in your pocket. I know you're going to lay a lot of juice. It felt really gross dropping I think $86 or so for me to get my $30 back. But it is what it is. We're going to ride this wave and see how it goes. That way you're also protecting a large part of your bankroll. If the majority of it's going to Scotty Scheffler, which is one of the safest bets in golf right now, you limit your exposure to make bad decisions in other markets too. Just in case you're a really bad gambler, Scotty Scheffler can help you save a little bit of money. So that's the situation there. Let's dive into our next guy on the model here, and it's going to be Max Homa. Let's find his stuff. His T20 is minus 105 on Monday. When the odds came out, it was plus 105. Scotty was minus 260, so odds have drifted a touch. But Max to finish inside the top 20 gives us a 6% edge for that market. By the way, we're glossing over Tony Finau here because I'm just looking at his markets across the board, and he's likely the most expensive golfer in the field. No, Jordan Spieth is, but second is Tony Finau. So I wasn't even going to waste my time looking to bet Tony Finau in any market, despite him having the number 1 strokes gained average at this golf course in the course history side of things. So we've really got some interesting dilemmas to deal with there, but Tony Finau as a bet is just, you're never going to find me betting the guy when he's been this atrocious across all the markets. His numbers are never good enough or reflective of his performances. Back to Max Homa, though. We're going to be betting him at minus 105. At minus 105, that odds implies 51% probability. If we take a look at Max Homa's top 20 rate on the PGA Tour, it is a 57% clip. Now, Max Homa's been playing in Wells Fargo Championships, Pebble Beach Pro-Ams, Waste Management Phoenix Opens, Farmers Insurances. He's been playing as well in all these majors. He's been playing in RBC Heritages. He's been playing against the greatest golfers on the planet every single week. We get a week now where if we take a look at my top rankings here, 5th in the rankings is Austin Eckroat, Keith Mitchell, Tom Hoagie, Kevin Yu, Adam Scott, Minwoo Lee, Harris English. Those are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You're not looking at great golfers here. So you can almost spice up these T20s for the guys a little more. You'd expect in this kind of a field, Max has a better chance of T20ing than he does at the RBC Heritage, for instance. So bear that in mind. This week, I love Max Homa. He typically plays well on these medium courses as well. He's definitely shown us a little bit of that in the past. So, yeah. Let me tidy up 1 or 2 things. Also, I forgot a water, and wow, look at this. Fun times over here on the Back Nine Bets stand. Let's get rid of some things I'm not even going to be using here. Okay, there we go. As you can tell, the model has got millions and millions and millions of columns that are not hidden. So we kind of probably just going to stick to this side of the things, which is really the most important part of it, is determining which markets to find these guys. We know you're going to listen to a majority of different podcasts. You're going to find out why people like a certain golfer. We are betting focused over here, and we want to make sure we're betting the right market. Max Homa in the top 5 market has lost you $292 in the last 12 months. He's only finishing top 5 only 10% of the time. He's had 21 starts, so that's 2 top 10, 2 top 5s, and one of them being the Masters, which you would never have bet Max Homa to finish top 5 there. So we're going to go to Max. We love where his game's at. He's got a decent course history here, 11th in the field, and his strokes gained total over the last 20 in this year, 2024, is 8th. So we'll take it. He's playing nicely. The putter seems to have found some form recently, which is typically what Max Homa needs in order to kind of really find the groove that Max Homa likes to find. I'm going to be highly unprofessional. I'm going to hide myself. I'm going to quickly go grab something to sip on because your boy's thirsty. It is what it is. I'm sorry. I love you. Yeah, let's marinate over another bet. You know what? I'll let you just think about this one while I'm gone in 2 seconds, but I'll be like 30 seconds. Colin Morikawa to win this golf tournament, plus 1,400, 14 to 1. Let's party. All right, we've got a coconut LaCroix now. Hit me up in the comments. You guys are a little quiet over again. What's your favorite like non-alcoholic beverage? Like, do you like a little sparkling water? Do you like a little LaCroix? Do you like bubblies? Do you like Celsius's? What's your go-to like when you're hitting the bubbles? Also, we can do a giveaway again. I'll give away my model once that's up this evening. You drink 10 LaCroix a day? Dude, I've loved hitting. Excuse me, Missy. Wow. She never barks at me during the pods. But LaCroix, baby. That's the way to go. So what's your favorite flavor, Jeff? Dr. Pepper's for Big Mike? Yes. And just Diet Dr. Pepper or straight up Dr. Pepper, Mike? Love it, love it, love it. All right. So here we go. Colin Morikawa. He's fourth in the model. He's second in DFS pricing. He's second in pricing behind Scotty Scheffler. I think Scotty's like plus 280, plus 250. And then we've got Colin next at 14 to 1. I believe that's his current situation. Let me double check that those are his prices. 12 to 1 would be brutal. But I popped these all in the Discord for us. Yeah, so they're all 12s out there now. Brutal stuff, but it's okay. Join the Rotoballer Discord. I'll pop them in there for you every single time. That's the beauty of being in the Discord. You're going to save yourself some closing line value even if the bets don't hit. But by the way, last week we crushed. Let's actually take a second here. I was force-feeding the Colin Morikawa situation. Dog loves LaCroix. Yeah, Phoebe's a big coconut fan. Big coconut fan. She hasn't got a lot of love because Ernie's been getting all the attention during the thunderstorms. Lemon or lime. Oh, those are good flavors, man. And then Mike's like, Bush Light, just like water. And Big Mike saying he likes Dr. Pepper straight. Awesome stuff. Love the chat. I love you guys so much, man. You guys bring me so much joy. It's been a rough week. It's good to see everybody getting sassy and frisky, just chatting about their favorite little LaCroix over there in the chat over here. So back to last week. We bet $110 or so, including a few farewell fivers, an additional round 2, round 3. By the way, our farewell fivers, they went 3 for 4, 3 for 4, and then 1 for 4. So tough scenes, but Keith Mitchell let us down. Then Rory let us down. That was tough. But let's get back to it. Yeah, we were crushing the placement market last week. We were crushing the matchups. You know, that Cam Young versus Sam Burns bet was amazing. You know, Sam Burns missing the cut. You love to cash full tournament long bets on Friday, especially when your guy keeps on going through to the weekend the other guy missed. So let's chat about Colin Morikawa. If you remember my key stats, right? We deleted my legs, so that's not there anymore. But take a look at this. Like when I just looked at this, these are 100 to 200 yards, buckets. We're only going to get 23% of shots coming from 200 plus. Everything else comes from inside of that, okay? I'm going to pull up Colin Morikawa's data golf profile here. For those of you that have been on me on the show with me, there's only one person that's been on me, and she doesn't watch the show. But for those of you that have been on the show with me, we know where we're going over here. That was a horrible mispronunciation. But here's Colin Morikawa's approach bucket situation. So yeah, it is from, let's just go to 200 plus. Look how good this still is. This is his 2-year baseline from the fairway for shots, gaining, strokes, proximity, green regulations, good shot, poor shot. All of this stuff right over here. All 75th percentile and better. If we go the last 12 months, it's a drastic decline, heavy decline. We're sitting the best case scenario for Colin 62nd percentile for good shot rate from 200 plus. So that's what I'm trying to just get across to you. And if you take a look in this year, it's even worse with a smaller sample size. But if we go the other way now, let's click on 150 to 200. Boom. The greening regulations, the poor shot avoidance struggles a bit, but look at the proximity numbers, look at the strokes gained regulations. For this year, look how bad he is from 200. Look how much better it is from 150 to 200. Then we go to wedges. It gets even better. Look at the good shot rate with wedges. He does not shy away from hitting it close with a wedge. A good shot with a wedge is 6 feet, 6.1 feet. So he's one of the best in this field at doing such. So when he has a wedge in his hand, unless it's Sunday at the PGA Championship, he's going at the flag. If we take a look at just the last 12 months, look how much better that gets from 100 to 150. If we go 150 to 200, it gets a little bit worse the further away from the ball we go. But Colin's been incredible with these short irons. It's the long irons that are the problem. You know, he's not too shabby. Push shot avoidance out the rough, underneath 150, good. You know, the rough is a problem. But he's one of the most accurate drivers of the golf ball, so we're going to see him in the freaking fairway all the time. Back to the model, we're going to show you guys exactly why. Like, taking a look at Colin Morikawa's situation over here, if you're taking a look at accuracy, he's third in the field. If you're taking a look at off the tee numbers for strokes gained on courses shorter than 7,200 yards, he's eighth. You know, so we've got a lot to like from Colin in that department. And the best part about Colin is that his around the green play has returned. Not even returned. It is now phenomenal. It is now freaking phenomenal. So Colin Morikawa definitely is somebody that we want to get our hands on, yeah. And when you think about what he does well, accuracy off the tee, he's third in the field. We know he's top 10 in gaining strokes off the tee in this kind of environment. He's very, very good in hard conditions, second in the field behind Scotty Scheffler. So if this course plays to minus 10 as the winner, that's perfect for Colin. It's more perfect for Scotty, but we're not betting Scotty at plus 280. We're going to bet Colin at 14 to 1. If we take a look at let's try and find some stats here. Do we have weighted? Where's our weighted stuff? Look at what goes on behind the scenes here in the model. Here's our weighted stuff. Okay. So Colin Morikawa is weighted, not going to work out the greatest, but it's a lot better than where you'd see these other venues where we've got this emphasis on 200 plus. That's basically what I'm trying to get across to you guys is Colin Morikawa, this golf course really suits his playing style. So we'll see what he can do in regular tournaments. In his 20 starts, he's got 4 top 5s. So he's been flirting with the top of the leaderboard a lot. Tony Finau, everyone's on Tony Finau because of his historic performances here. Tony's got 1 top 5 on the PGA Tour, and that's, I don't even know what tournament it was. Not a good one, you know, like, was it maybe last week? I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? Colin's been flirting with the top of the board. If there's someone I'm willing to go to, it's him. We're also going to bet Colin Morikawa as a safety precaution for a top 5 at plus 260. Would love a better odds there, but you know, we took the raw edge ding. It's not necessarily just a straight up bet. We're betting it along with him as an outright hunch. So we're trying to find the best market to play him in, and he's lost the least amount of money in the top 5 market. I do think he is back with his old coach, and we can expect the long iron game to start trending in the right direction soon. And if he keeps the short game firing up, baby, woo! We've got some problems because the putting isn't grading out the greatest for Colin, but it's still really, really impressive. Like if you take a look at what he's been up to look at this last little stretch here. This is very nice. 3rd at the Masters, 9th at the RBC, Zurich Classic, whatever, finished 23rd. 16th at the Wells Fargo, 4th at the PGA Championship. You know what I'm saying, folks? Like this is it. And then we're gaining putting in all of these things. If he never lost 3.5 strokes putting on Sunday at the PGA Championship, he would have gained again. So he needs to just avoid that calamity on Sunday in Texas this time round. We've left Louisville. Let's see what he can do for us. 14 to 1, Colin. We're also going to him for a top 5 at plus 240 because it is the market that is his least loss so far. Wouldn't bet him top 10 because he's only top 10ing 25% of the time when he's top 5ing 20% of the time. So he's basically got one more top 10 than top 5. You want to bet the top 5. When he pops, he really pops, it seems. So that's the way to go with him. Top 5 market plus 260 is very short, but he has played well in the past. If we take a look at his track record, actually, I know I'm taking a hot minute on Colin, but he's our signature guy. Take a look at 2020. Let me get myself out the way. Let me get myself out of the box here quickly. So Colin, you can see here, 2020 finished second. Approach play has always been stellar here. He's always been pretty decent off the tee, not terrible. But the around the green play has been average, and he's lost with the putter pretty much every single time. When he gained around and on the greens, he finished second in 2020. That's when he was Colin Morikawa. That was when he was that guy. Take a look at what we're getting up to now. We're starting to see this green column over here is been amazing all year. The putter has showed up here and there. The short game has been scintillating. So we've got a lot to like about Colin. And I mean, look at this recent track record just since the Masters. Been very, very impressive golf. Very impressive golf. His worst single stroke play event has been a 16th at the Wells Fargo. So, which again, not a golf course that suits his style. So Colin Morikawa, we are very excited about. We can't wait for him to break our heart. We cannot wait for him to break our heart. Scooting on down. So we've spoken about Colin. We've spoken about Max. Let's chat about Tom Hoge. We're only going to be betting him for a top 20 because it's the only market he's profitable in. I know Pat Mayo's driven Tom Hoge's market into the ground as an outright. I just don't see it. Pat, if you ever listen to this, I've got a 0% in the top 5 column there for you for Tom Hoge. What I want to do is research some golfers to make sure that I want to figure out like a bucket system like Darbo does for DFS, but for outrights, where how many golfers have won a tournament without having a top 5 in the last 12 months? How many golfers have won a tournament with a top 5 within the last 3 starts? Kind of stuff like that. How many golfers had a week where they gained one of their best approach weeks of their career and then win, within the next 4 starts kind of thing. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. I want to do a bit of research into that, just some trends and stuff about trying to find a winner. Like if you bet the guy to defend his title at every tournament, does that cash once a year? So maybe you pick your battles, unless it's like a Scotty Scheffler, unless it's like a Scotty Scheffler that's defending, maybe you bet him there because that's where he wins, kind of. I don't know. Like, I'm curious to see where it goes on. Tom Hoge hasn't finished inside the top 5 at all. In 28 starts, he's only got 7% top 10 rate. Not good. But his top 20 rate is 36%. So 1 in every 3 starts, Tom Hoge is finding himself inside the top 20. And it's been quite a lot recently. Now, he's sucked it up at this golf course in the past, but he's shown us he can show up at any venue now the way he's hitting his irons. And Tom Hoge is the second best iron player in the field. I've got 45% weighting in my model for iron play. So second place there. And then we've got the putting is 20th. So like if your putting is showing up a little bit and you suck around the greens, that's fine. Your putter can make up for a few things there. When you're the second best approach player and top 20 in putting, Data Golf's going to have you ranked 15th in their model. So at least in this field. So that's the situation with Tom Hoge. We're going to bet him top 20. He's been extremely profitable in that market. He's won us $370 betting him top 20 every tournament for the last 28. So every other market for Tom Hoge has not returned you money. And if he does win, you'll have to win again in order to return you your entire investment in Tom Hoge over the last 12 months. Fun stuff there. Next up for us is Kevin Yu. We're going to bet this dude for a top 10. We have some comments going on here first, though. You are on the right track. I think Morikawa wins in the next 10 tournaments for sure. Jeff, it better be tomorrow. It better be this, like the next one tournament, because I'm not going all the way to the window with Colin every single week. I think this is one of the weeks that we need to find success. It's a weaker field. If Scotty doesn't show up, it's a golf course that suits his game perfectly. Kevin Yu. Look at that. Now we start getting to some fun freaking bets. Kevin Yu, T10 plus 900. Ties paid in full at Bet365. Kevin Yu, if you take a look at his top 5 rate, 4%. So basically 1 in the last 24. That's okay. If you take a look at his top 10 rate, though, 17%. When you take a 900 plus 900 bet, the implied odds of that is 10%. Kevin, in his last 24 starts, is finishing inside the top 10 at a 17% clip. So we got a mini, raw edge there of 7%. We've also got a really interesting scenario where his T20 rate is also 17%. So every time it's a top 20, it's also a top 10. So if you're betting Kevin Yu T20s, you're missing out on value. If you're betting Kevin Yu for T40s, you're also missing out on value because it's only 12% more likely for him over the last 24 rounds to finish inside the top 40 than it is for him to finish inside the top 10. 17% top 10 rate, 29% top 40 rate. He's a boom or bust candidate. That's where we want to find our guy. So we're going to go to him at plus 900 for a top 10. He's doing it 1 in every 5 starts, basically. And plus 900 gives us a good crack. Guess what? Kevin Yu at a ball striking paradise where you can miss putts and stuff like that. His biggest issue is the short game. He can ball strike this place to death. And the short game spikes every now and then. We've seen it at the Amex. We've seen it at these venues, Let's actually take a quick peek and see what Kevin Yu's, where his top 10s were. Kevin Yu's Myrtle Beach, boom, top 10. So his last start was a top 10 at the alternate event. Then we had a top 10 at the Cognizant Classic, another positional shorter golf course. Then we had the Farmers Insurance, that makes a lot of sense, and then a T3 at the American Express, a bit of a birdie fest. So we've got difficult scoring at the Farmers, where he still played nicely. And the thing is, every time he gains in the short game department, we are finding ourselves with a top 10. When it doesn't, we suck. But his approach and off the tee numbers are so reliable for the most part that we're going to be getting, anytime we see spike performances on the short game with him, we're getting a high upside performance. That's why. He's literally boom or bust in the short game department. So we're just needing some love. And do we have, what are his bend splits? I doubt they're good. Let's scroll a million miles across here because I should have hidden this stuff ages ago. But his bent numbers are not good either. But he sees one of the better jumps in putting from, he's 130th putting in general, and he's 100th putting on bent. So fun stuff, right? Fun stuff. Par 5 scoring, typically his best number, and his round 4 average. When he makes the weekend, he flies up the leaderboard. So we just got to hope, the back door for Kevin, you are always welcome. I'll leave it at that. That was a good ending there. Okay, scooting on to our next guy. Let's check out Brian Harmon's profile. Brian the Charmin Snake Harmon. All right, but before we do that, let's do a little giveaway. So my model's going to come out here after this evening. It's been a hot week for me. I'm a hot mess. I am a bit behind, but the model will be coming out. I'll send that to somebody who, in the comments, let's think of a trivia question here. Since 2017, who in this field has the lowest score for a single round at Colonial Country Club since 2017 playing in this field? Who has the lowest single round score at Colonial CC playing this week? All right, here's the model giveaway question for the show. First person to get the right answer, I have no idea. I'm going to find out what it is myself, so I'm going to hide that while I do some of the research here quickly. We've got Greg who's saying Si Woo. I don't know. We'll have to see. Orange shirt Byron. Guess I'm betting Ricky again. Oh boy. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Ricky's like floating with trying to get back here. And then I guess I'll figure out who exactly I will return this to, but I'm pulling it up right now. Charles Schwab challenge. Who has the lowest single round score? This is going to be a fun little research thing. I pulled up the vault. It's slowing down and doing all that stuff. But all right, score wise, there's a 61 out here. And the 61 is not in the field. So let's pull up a 62. The 62 is also, wow, Kevin Na has a 61, a pair of 62s. And then I think we've got, I'm going to double check real quick, but I found there's two guys that are likely in this field. One of them is, and the other is too. So there's two guys, and they are not who you think. They are not who you think. So it's not Jordan Spieth. It's not Siwoo Kim. It's not Justin Rose. It's not Adam Scott. It's not Zach Johnson. I will give you guys a hint. They are probably in the $7,000 range. Let's check. I'm going to just casually scroll down until I think I see the guys I'm looking for. Okay, I'm seeing one in the $6,000 range, and I'm seeing another in the $6,000 range. So I'm just going to kind of scroll up and down here for you guys. One of them is on the screen right now. Actually, in fact, both of them are. And I'm in the way. Let me get myself out the way here. They are on the screen. Come on, somebody tell me. One of them has shot a 60. One of these two guys that is on your screen right now has shot a 62 at this venue. One of them did it last year in 2023 in round 1, and the other did it in 2021 in round 2. Both shot 62s. Kevin Na, incredible. He's got 2 62s and a 61. Very impressive. And we've got our winner. It is not Straka. It is not Webb. It is Gregory, just spamming, but we'll let you potentially have it, since I'll let other people take a second stab at it. But congrats, Greg. No more spamming, though. Got like 2 chances to kind of throw your answer out there. But it is Charlie Hoffman. If we pull up the vault over here, yeah, we are. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. Kevin Na, folks. This guy destroyed this golf course. 18 and 19. We had, in 18, he shot 60, 61, 62. Very, very impressive. So, yeah. But here we are, Charlie Hoffman and Harry Hall. A lot of H's going on here. You got to have an H apparently in your last, both of your names to do it. But yeah, we got a pair of 62s from these two bros. One of them in 2021 and the other in 2023. So congrats, Greg. Let me know. Send me a message on X, please, or how can I contact you and send you the model later? You spamming son of a gun. Thank you to everybody else for participating in that little trivia there. It's always fun figuring out exactly where we're going. So 62 is hella impressive from these guys as well. So the scoring is out there, but I think we'll struggle to see that this week. Getting back to where we were coming from. And as you can tell, yeah, I've got Jordan Spieth completely misranked. I don't think he's playing well enough to be the 3rd most expensive guy right now, despite being in Texas. But that's not what we're here to discuss today. We're here to discuss some golf bets. And let's chat about Brian Harman. BH. The Charmin Harmon Snake Whisperer. We're going to bet this guy for a top 30 at minus 120. At one point, it was plus 100. That was when it was the best. But you know what? We'll still take it at minus 120. If you take a look at his T20 rate, it's $291 returned in the last 12 months, which is 23 events. So you're going to get a pretty solid return there. If you take a look at his top 40 rate, 57% of the time he's inside the top 40 and 43% of the time he's inside the top 20. So let's say we'll go with 50% he's inside the top 30, somewhere right in the middle there. So that's where we're going to be looking at. 50% of the time, it works every time. There's no Sex Panther in the field, so Brian Harmon's going to have to be that guy. But Brian Harmon's wearing a colonial cologne that's way stronger than Sex Panther, folks. And it is a cologne that works 9 out of 10 times if you're looking to bet a top 31. Brian Harmon has finished T31 or better 9 of his last 10 showings here. That's 8 top 30s in the last 10 starts at this golf course. And the crazy thing is, if we pull up his actual track record, it's like this perfect, happy, comfy zone right now because he's really not excelling at Colonial. He's just playing well. So we've got 8 top 30s, nothing better than a 7th. We've only got 2 top 10s. You know what I'm saying? So I was very tempted to go to the top 5 route because if you take a look at Brian Harmon's top 5 rate, it's also a very profitable market. I'd imagine that probably came through a lot at the Open Championship when he won that. But Brian Harmon finishes inside the top 5 at a 22% clip, which is really impressive. It's one of the better numbers in the field behind Scotty. So I was tempted to go there. Also, you limit your exposure. And if you take a look at this, I think it's the second best in the field. It is. So like Brian Harmon, only person finishes inside the top 5 more than him is Scotty. But at this golf course, he just doesn't quite get it done. So I felt like I'd go with a safer route and go with the thing that's happened way more often. Take the minus 120, bet the top 30. The top 20 market is actually being as profitable as the top 5. You have to lay a bit more juice. But this golf course is typically shown its stripes. Guys that play well here repeatedly. So that's us. I like that bet. Brian Harmon. I should have popped that down there, but I got carried away and got way too excited. Brian Harmon, T30, minus 120, baby. So, yeah. What's the chat saying? I had Hall. You had Hall? Harry Hall, you did. Jeff, I'm so sorry, my friend. Greg, you still get it. Jeff, I'll send it to you as well. Since there were 2 guys that won, why not, I guess you could both be the winners there. I think that's definitely fair. It's not a penny out of my pocket. Maybe you sign up to Rotoballer using code Maniac afterwards, but hey, that's just me being hopeful. Anyway, so Jeff, please, Greg, message me on X so that I can get that to you guys. Really, really appreciate that. And thank you for standing up for yourself like Brian Harmon does at Colonial when he finishes inside the top 31. 8 out of the last 9 times, or 9 of the last 10 have been top 31s. So good for him. Scooting on down to a few more other options here. Let's chat about Denny McCarthy. We're going to be betting Denny McCarthy for a top 10. And top 10 for Denny is not in my slide sheet over here. So let's add that. McCarthy, top 10 at plus 350. T10 plus 350. At one point, it was plus 420. Tough times. But Denny McCarthy, what did we have to say? 2 top 10s in his last 5 starts, Valero and Wells Fargo, were his 2 top 10s. So Denny's been popping, and Denny pops in the top 10 market pretty hard. He finishes top 10, 3 out of every 10 starts. So that's 30%. When you're telling me it's plus 350, those odds imply a 22% rate. This field's definitely watered down. Denny's been playing in these big boy fields. Wells Fargo, okay, the Valero, not necessarily the strongest field in the world, but the Wells Fargo definitely. So Denny can show up. So a top 10 at plus 350 in a market that he's returned $334 to us if you bet that every single tournament for the last 23 for Denny. I like it. His top 5 rate is 13. It's a third of his top 10 rate. And then you go top 20 rate. Every time he's basically inside the top 20, he's inside the top 10. 35 to 30, T20 to T10 rate. Only a 5% difference, If you wanted to then bet Denny for a top 40, his top 40 rate is double his T10 rate. So it still tells me bet the upside, You want your T20 rate to be double your T10 rate. So there's a definite value to be had with Denny McCarthy in the top 10 market if you're looking to bet him at any tournament, because I think that's how he does. So how's Denny done at this venue in the past? Not necessarily the greatest. But you know what? We're going to take a shot at him. We're not betting him a unit to win a unit. We're betting a third of a unit to take care of business for us. So he's missed the cut pretty much every single time in a T27 and a 66th. The ball striking has been putrid. But if you take a look at what Denny's got up to the last little while, it's kind of been the same situation. We've had a few spike situations here and there. I don't know. We just went with it. I feel like he's doing it. The odds were fine. We're risking a third of a unit to win a unit and a bit. So that's where we're going there. Then we're going to keep on moving down to Mr. Blue Collar himself. It is, where are you, Mr. Glover? Lucas Glover for a top 40 at minus 130. If you take a look at Glover's stuff, he's going to pop up as a winner because he won 2 in a row, just like that. And as a dog brushes up against your scar-tissued leg. I should have worn my Red Hot Chili Peppers hat. But Glover, when you take a look at T40 numbers, he's 43rd in the field. 63% of the time he's finishing top 40. 63% of the time. That's the number we're looking for there. The T5, T10 rates are skewed by that playoff run where he got really, really hot because the putter's gone back to being shit. 106th in a 130-man field. Not good, but his approach play, 3rd in the field. Ball striking, 10th. So we've got that going on for us. He's very accurate off the tee. And I like Lucas Glover, and I cannot lie. Oh, this wind is blowing like crazy out here, folks. I hate it. Take a look at his last few starts. At this venue, 23rd, 8th, and T40. So the last 3 times he's played here, he would have cashed a top 40. Putted well only 1 time. In his last, 6, 7 starts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. T43 being the PGA Championship. Prior to that, 5 consecutive top 40 runs. Missed a cut prior to that, T30, T35, T35. This guy's just rattling off top 40s. We're going to a golf course that he's done it at multiple times before. I'm chilled going to Lucas Glover at minus 130 for a top 40. There's value there. Minus 130 means 57% of the time. He's doing it 63% of the time. So this is just pulling in the actual number. It's not minusing it from the 57. But if you minus that, it gives you 6% edge. So the edge is still there. Even at minus 130, I liked it a lot closer to 100. But hey, I'm still going. No T20, Mike, because look here, you've been losing money in the T20 market. Only 33% of the time he's doing it. And it's just not working out. Like, it's weird. He's a T40 guy. So you got to bet him accordingly for some reason. I would leave him alone in the T20 market because if we take a look at his recent stuff, okay, we got one, 2. I'd rather do something that's happened a lot more often. Like a T40 sweat on Lucas Glover is way more likely than a T20 sweat. You'll be risking a little bit more. Obviously, you're going to have to risk your 13 to win your 10 back, but it's okay. I'd go there. Yes, no one breaks down the markets like Model Maniac Market Watch, the MMMW. It's the opposite of WWWM. It's the MMMW. Let's go, Jeff. You're my hype guy, brother. Really appreciate that. Let's go, dude. Love what we're doing tonight. So, yeah, T40, minus 130. Let's rock and roll, Kazi. All right. Checking out the comments, checking out some more bets. Let's do another one over here. Let's chat about a guy who we're going to bet at 45-1. Drop that in the Discord. Sepp Straka. Diet Coke Ironman took care of business for us at the John Deere Classic. We came back after the 4th of July and actually added him to the article after the show, unfortunately. But we still cashed in on him quite nicely. He's been good to us in the past. We made him our ladder bet last week on the Zoysia grass around PGA Championship Valhalla, but he missed the cut. He lost 3.5 strokes putting in round 2 and 1.5 strokes off the tee in round 1. 2 things he actually does really well is putt and keep the ball in play, which is why we're going back to him this week. So as you can see here, like for him to have done that badly, the putting is not usually he's not losing 3.5 strokes putting bad. You know, he's just middle of the pack, can get hot when he gets hot. When he wins these tournaments, he gets hot with the putter. The ball striking, look at this. 9th in the field. I'm getting caught now just like looking at the Sepp Straka stuff here. But we love it. Data Golf's got him ranked 17th. He does really well on these harder courses too. Accuracy, 17th in the field. So a lot to like with Sepp. Now, if we're going to be betting Sepp, we're going to be betting him top 5 because he's one of the few people that is profitable across all markets. He still returned you your $6, which the John Deere is approaching, but he still got you your 6 from the John Deere. You got 129 in the top 5 market because he's finishing inside the top 5 14% of the time, which is a really decent rate. And we're also probably going to be betting Sepp for top 20 because I'm going to add him as well. I think we've got him for a top 5 at plus 750 because that market's been returning us. And you know what? We actually really have to. The way we've been structuring our card, we've got so many guys that are short odds. We've got so much higher exposure because we've got that Scotty Scheffler minus 280. We've got the minus 105 Max Homa T20 bet. We've got minus 20 Brian Harmon. We got Lucas Glover minus 130. You know, we're laying down a lot of unitage. To going back to Sepp for a top 20, I'd rather lean into the top 5 and kind of lower our exposure over there a little bit. So kind of keep that plus 750 there because we've got a Lee Hodges bet coming in here shortly as well. So Sepp Straka, if you just take a look at, this is something that I think people's data golf, and this is why I want to take a look at those trends. If someone's finished inside the top 20 4 times in the last 5 starts, how often does that person win a golf tournament then? You know what I'm saying? Like, look at what Sepp's been up to. We've got, since the Players' Championship, T16 miscut at the Valspar, whatever. T16 at the Masters, 5th at the RBC Heritage, T11 at the Zurich, still solid, Zurich, whatever. T8 at the Wells Fargo, and then sucked it up on the greens at the PGA Championship. So we can expect some stuff from Sepp. If we take a look at what he's got up to here, he's typically putted really well. Actually putted really well on these greens. He's struggled on approach. What Sepp's doing right now is hitting the golf ball at a ridiculous level. Look at this iron play. Look at this iron play. Look at this accuracy off the tee. It is delightful, freaking delightful right now to see. This is why, like RBC Heritage, T5. Are you shocked? Very similar kind of golf course to Colonial. Hit the ball with the irons, putt well. If we can somehow get a short game to shine a bit better, you know, that we need this to get green, or we need one of these to get hot. So, Seppi for top 5, Seppi to win at 45-1. Let's go, Sepp Straka. Let's go, baby. Next up, Billy freaking Horschel, 60-1, plus 6,000. Before we do that, SMADD brought to you by TDAC over at goldboys.com. If you are not part of the goldboys.com Discord, please make sure you take care of that for TDAC over there. Give him a follow on X as well at Pterodactyl. I don't even know what your handle is, but I appreciate you. What would you set the winning score over under at? That's a great question. I actually even have that for us. So this is what I use to kind of do all my in-tournament stuff. Here we go. So check here. This is my, yes, I pull up the course. I try and figure out which way is north. Look at, this was colonial at some point. I pulled that up on Google Earth today, and it's brown as balls. So obviously it's not brown right now, but at some point it was. So, the course is going to be dry, I would imagine. But here are the winning scores for the last few years. In 2023, it was -8. It was -9 the year before that, -14, -15, -13, -20, -10. I think based off the wind and the course being more difficult and harder, I think it's Byron, can you drop the Discord link? TDAC, drop your Discord link in the chat, bro. Please do that for the people. Also, if you're in the mood for Discord Instant Classics, we have a Rotoballer Discord. It's part of our premium sub package. So use code Maniac if you want to jump over to that. You can jump. I think the premium subscription is in the description below for Rotoballer. TDAC will take care of you in the chat here because he's a boss. So we've got the last two winning scores have been -9, -8. Nothing better than -15, really. I would imagine we see it probably, I think someone tweeted at me, they said it was 268, which would be -12 to cash the over or the under the total. So Scotty Scheffler's in the field. That almost immediately makes me want to play it's almost a way of betting Scotty Scheffler, is to just bet the under of a total for the over-under. Because if he wins a tournament, he's likely going to be breaking course records or something ridiculous. Like when Scotty Scheffler's winning golf tournaments, he's playing at his best golf. Let's go. So I would probably play the under 268.5. I would imagine Scotty Scheffler can outperform the -8, -9 we're going to have seen the last little while. That's the thing, Jeff. The wind, the hard greens make it difficult, but Scotty Scheffler's so freaking good. When he's in the field, he could win at -14, -15, and the next best score is -6. And in this field in particular, like we've just spoken about how poor the field is, how quickly the drop-off goes from just taking a look at the 10K range. Like it drops off rapidly. It's Scotty, Colin, Jordan, Max. Boom. Tony Finau, who's got one top 5 in 21 starts, is $9,900. So that's the thing. You kind of shooting for you thinking Scotty's going to win this thing. He's +5, +280 to win it. I think you can almost like hedge your Scotty and bet the under of 268.5. It hasn't cashed the last 2 years. We also haven't had Scotty Scheffler doing what he's doing right now. Like you're betting pretty much Scotty Scheffler. If you don't think Scotty's going to play well, I would probably lean to the higher than 268.5. So 269, 270, single digit scores again. That's my take. And for that reason, I won't be playing it this week because I don't have a solid lean. Unfortunately, I was very sad to see that total come through. Anyway, so I'm trying to provide some production value at the same time over here. So I'm good to go. Let's get back to one or two of our final guys before we get the hell out of here. We haven't got two. I was contemplating, folks, to do Justin Rose in a big way. We haven't even spoken about Billy Horschel. We just kind of gloss over him. Where are you, Billy? How far do we have to scroll to find your name, bud? buddy, Billy boy. We'll just search you. We don't even have you highlighted. That's how under the radar you are. 26th in the model. Nice. All right. So Billy Horschel, been putting lights out lately. You're going to need that. And he's the 11th best strokes gainer in the field over the season, basically. But I think his data golf profile will probably do us a better job of explaining why we like him the most. Because there's some alternate event stuff that isn't in and what. He won the Gorillas Punta Cana tournament. He finished 8th at the PGA Championship. He hit the ball well on approach and putted very well. So he's starting to do some stuff. If you take a look at what he's been up to, again, we've got T9, T12, T7, a win, and a T8. So if we just ignore the win at Corrales, it was an alternate event. Cool. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 top 10, top 12 finishes. Let's go 3 top 10 finishes since March in his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 starts, 8 starts. What does that mean? Historically, somebody with that kind of profile who has 3 top 10s in his last 10 starts, how often does that person win a golf tournament? That's what I want to research and figure this out. Like, if someone's won already, how often do they win again? Is there a specific player that wins repeatedly? Obviously, Scotty Scheffler, those John Rahms, they'll win repeatedly. But, I'm curious to see these trends of the winners. So I really want to research that when I get some time. I don't have a lot of time, especially when I'm dying in between tornadoes and stuff. My Scotty cheat code is Scotty to lead tie for lead after any round. Ooh. So it's one bet that covers all 4 rounds. So at some point, he's just tied with the lead. What's that at? I really like that. That's a fun bet, T-Dac. It's a very fun bet. What are the odds on that? So here's Billy Horschel. We have a T19 as his best finish here. Struggled to hit his irons well at this golf course. Maybe that changes a bit. And he's found success with the putter a few times. So the short game's definitely going to be there. But we are, oh, wow. Plus 120 this week at Bet Rivers. Hell yes, dude. I might add that to the Breaking 100 article. I love that bet. I mean, that's the way to go. He's like plus 280 to win. At some point, he's got to be tied with somebody, right? Like, I love it. I wonder what the math is behind that, but that seems like a fun bet too. So yeah, this is what Billy Horschel's up to. Got some spike performances lately, a win at the cheaper field. Let's see what old Billy can get up to, folks. Let's see what old Billy can get up to. We're seeing some spike numbers. Seeing some spike numbers. At 60 to 1, why the heck not? All right. Then we got one more guy. His name is Keegan freaking Bradley. And the model's not going to like Keegan because the model isn't going to overreact to the fact that Keegan led the PGA Championship in strokes gained off the tee, gaining 1.75. He was hyper accurate, which is great. To see that he's gained accuracy at the RBC Heritage while having a distance advantage on majority of people, he can be a very good driver of the golf ball because he's one of the few people that really possesses length with accuracy. And Keegan Bradley, folks, is that guy. He can ball strike this golf course to death. He can absolutely do it. The putting has been okay lately. It's been bad for a while. Maybe it's moving in the right direction now. Like it seems like it's rectified itself, at least the last 4 starts. It was bad and dire on the Florida side of things. Maybe Bermuda greens, not the best. Maybe bent grass greens. Maybe Keegan's a bent grass guy. Let's go take a quick peek at Keegan. Keegan, how bent are you, my friend? How bent are you? Very bent. It's a very much bent guy. So the putting this year, much worse than last. This is 2023 putting. In majors, he sucks, but his bent grass putting, the last 36 rounds and it's like amazing. Second in the field. So Yeah, we could expect some good putting performance from Ben Grass Keegan, Ben Grass Bradley, folks. The Bent Bradley. So that's exciting to see. Now he was 15th in putting last year. What is he? Can't be good this year. 104th. Yeah. So it's been bad, but bad Brad is what we're here for. So Keegan Bradley, we're not even going to bet him any other market, or we're going to bet him top 5 along with, yeah, maybe we'll just do that. A 10-1 top 5 insurance, basically an each way type situation. So we're going to be doing that. Keegan Bradley, 70-1. Keegan Bradley, 10-1 top 5. That's our guy. We like the bent grass. We like how good he can be off the tee. And the irons haven't been the best, but they're kind of darn good. They fifth in this field. I mean, just look at this. This is freaking good stuff, man. Good stuff. We just need to find a bit of love over here. Find a bit of love. And we've had a bit of random stuff happen here in the past. So at 70-1, I'll take a chance on Keegan. Let's see what he can do. Byron, how can a placement percentage be higher than their make cut percentage? Just curious, new to your sessions here. Who are you referencing, my bud? Be careful because I've got the T20 and T40 split. I should probably change the colors of these ones. Let me change the colors. Welcome, Instant Classics. Love the name, by the way. Let me change this to a different color. Let's make it blue. So what this is just like an easier way. I probably could hide it. It makes it a bit confusing, but it's how often when he's finishing inside the top 20 is he finishing inside the top 10 as well. So Keegan Bradley, 50% of the time. He's got a 10% T10 rate, a 20% T20 rate. So half the time. Then this is the T20, T40 number. It's like, it kind of just helps you highlight golfers that if you got like a really high T20, T40 rate, then let me show it to you. Yeah, I'll pull it up, a specific example. So you just filter on this to kind of get the highest guys. So let's just go Joel Damon, for instance. Whenever Joel Damon, it's been very bad. Let's find someone that's got a decent clip. Here's Max Homer, for instance. So Max, he's got a really high 86% T40, T20 rate because 86% of the time he's finishing inside the top 40. He's also finishing inside the top 20. So if you were just looking at his numbers, you might not have noticed that. But at 67% of the time finishing inside the top 40, why aren't you just betting him to finish inside the top 20 when he's doing that 57% of the time? Right? So you're losing out on value. This is like the value identifier. Guys that you want to be doing the opposite on, are guys like let's find someone with a decent top 20 number. For instance, like Ben Griffin. He hardly finishes inside the top 20, but he finishes inside the top 40 at a pretty high rate. Remember I said you want your top 40 percentage to be double what your T20 percentage is and your T20 to be double the top 10 percentage. That's a good graduation of like percentages for the different positions. Ben Griffin's is almost triple his T20 rate. It's not double. So you want to be betting Ben Griffin T40s versus T20s. So I hope that answers your question. We kind of got off the rails there for a touch, but I feel like I bring this to the party. There's not a lot of people that have this in-depth level of analysis about bets, and I'm really trying to share how I go about it. And it's a new process that I've only started doing this. So it's kind of interesting. I've only been doing it this year. My dog is going crazy outside. My ADD is all over the place. We have to finish up Billy Horschel. We've spoken about him. We've spoken about Sepp Straka. We have one more guy to go with, and it's Lee Hodges, folks. Lee Hodges. So Lee Hodges, this is another situation. Like if you take a look at Lee's T20 rate, you don't want to be betting Lee, and we're actually betting him T40 as well. So let's pull up Lee Hodges' stuff. He's minus 110 to finish inside the top 40. He's done that at about a 40% clip. We want to get exposure to our golfers in one way or another. Lee Hodgels. Let's see what he can get up to for us. Lee Hodgels, T40 minus 110. Come here. We've got him for that. My dog's going nuts. I'm so sorry, folks. This weather, I think the weather's freaking us out. Maybe Ernie's stuck outside. I don't know. But anyway, Lee Hodges, he's inside the T40 a lot more than he does anything else. 15% T20 rate. So you rather go T40 if you're looking to do anything there. If you take a look at what Lee Hodges has been up to the last little while, it's actually rather impressive. And we're really going to him for a top 40 as well as his win at 125 to 1, because we're seeing a spike in just results now. We've got 2 really good putting performances and a really good approach week at the PGA Championship. And I think having that good of an iron week at a PGA Championship can just give you the little bit of confidence you need in order to get across the line. So that's where we want to go. He's hyper accurate off the tee, which I think should help him around here. We've got a T35 and a T29 with some really good approach play both those times. If we can get a bit of love around the greens and putting, we're looking good. The around the green play has been nullified to a small degree lately, not getting better, but the putting has been spiky. So there's a lot to like about Lee Hodges when it comes to that, especially off the tee. So really, really like him. I think that is it for us, folks. Let's have ourselves a week. We've got, I'm going to just go through these. Colin Morikawa, 14 to 1 to win. Colin Morikawa, T5 plus 240. Sepp Straka, 45 to 1 to win this thing. Sepp Straka, T5 at plus 750. Billy Horschel, 60 to 1 to win the tournament. Keegan Bradley, 70 to 1. Lee Hodges, 125 to 1. Those are all of our outrights. Also, Lee Hodges, T40, minus 110. We got Scotty Scheffler, T10 at minus 280. Lucas Glover for a T40 at minus 130. Brian Harman, T30, minus 120. Max Homer, minus 105 for a T20. Tom Hoagie, plus 167 for a T20. Kevin Yu, plus 900 for a T10. And Denny McCarthy for a plus 350 T10. So, my dogs are outside. I'm out of here. We love you all. Have a great week.